It used to be much easier. In 1970, 42% of employees had a pension, a guarantee by your employer that you would get a good percentage of your salary and benefits upon retirement.
This is the life. What with my retirement plan and a few dollars I'd saved, I didn't have a thing to worry about.
Workers didn't have to figure out how to manage their own savings plan. It was done for them.
It was very simple. The employee really didn't know any of the mechanics behind it. They just knew when they came close to retirement that they were promised a benefit, so a secure income over their entire life. So they had this income until they died.
And so what was wrong with that system?
Absolutely nothing, to be honest. It was a great system. The problem was that over the last decade, the rules of the game changed.
What changed was that people started living longer. New accounting rules, global competition, and market volatility, too, affected the cost of maintaining a pension plan.
The old system became an expensive system, I think, from an employer standpoint. They have to know how to manage investment risk, and they have to know how to manage longevity risk.
And they have to spend a good deal of money.
And they have to spend a good deal of money, and if the market doesn't do what they hope it will do, they can lose some of the cash that they've actually put in from a funded status standpoint. So it's pretty complex.
One of our major concerns is to protect our accounts against risk.
It was then that corporations found a new loophole in the Internal Revenue Code.
What essentially happens is that the 401k comes in the late 70s, early 80s. It starts as a corporate tax dodge. Basically, it's if you're a high earner, you're going to put some of your money aside. Nobody ever thought that this was going to apply to the rest of us. I mean, there was never any thought of it.
So not quite by design, a new retirement system was born. Big brokerages and banks saw an opportunity to expand their business and helped employers set up and run their new plans. They promoted the arrangement as a win for everyone.
From the individual perspective, the 401k actually opened up the opportunity to save for retirement for many individuals who worked for businesses that didn't have a pension. And it also allowed them to have a portable, vested amount of money that they could take with them as Americans started changing jobs more frequently.
It's as simple, though, isn't it, as the businesses decided to get out of the business of providing pensions and shift the burden to employees.
I would express that more as a sharing of the responsibility for retirement between employers and employees.
But while some employers contribute to employees' 401k plans, all of the risks fall on the individual.
401k plans really place the burden on the individual participant to have an adequate retirement. And the vast majority of ordinary people don't know how to do that. It's a very complex task.
We wanted them to be able to figure out how much they needed to save for retirement, how to invest that money, and then once they had a lump sum, once they retired, how to withdraw the money so they didn't outlive their assets. So that's 3 different risks.
Picking and choosing the right investments requires very careful handling.
Enter the mutual fund industry.
People in the mutual fund industry realized that there was a huge opportunity here, right? I mean, not only could they sell their mutual funds, directly to investors, but they could make the mutual funds the very foundation of the 401k plans.
In 1981, nobody knew what a 401k was. By 1989, it's in the lexicon, it's being written about, it's being talked about. Throughout the 90s, now all large employers effectively have plans in place. People are participating. It continues to grow from there.
Start saving $300 a month when you're 23, and you could retire a millionaire.
The boom happened in lockstep with the roaring bull market of the 80s and 90s. Mutual funds were charging high management fees, but nobody seemed to care.
The returns are great. So no one thinks about how much is this costing me when they're earning 15 or 20%.
Star mutual fund managers like Fidelity Magellan's Peter Lynch encouraged all of us to jump in.
You shouldn't be intimidated. Everyone can do well in the stock market. You have the skills, you have the intelligence, It doesn't require any education. All you have to have is patience, do a little research. You've got it.
Saving for retirement seemed as simple as betting on the market.